Hello everyone and welcome to Skincare with Hiram and welcome back to another rant. I fear this may set a firestorm in the comment section, but so be it. I got things to say. I want to talk about the content creator Brooke Schofield and her decision to get plastic surgery, or specifically an upper blepharoplasty, but more importantly, talk about the online discourse and controversy that this has created, because my god, this really blew up.
You guys, I debated on whether or not I even wanted to share this. I kind of thought I wanted to be one of those who just like pops out looking brand new and pretends nothing happened, but I'm cutting my eyelids off tomorrow. I've always had hooded eyes, never like bad hooded eyes, not that there are bad hooded eyes, but it's never affected my vision. It's never like really bothered me that much until more recently. It really started to bother me when I realized like I couldn't do my makeup the same. I love wearing makeup. I love doing my makeup. I've always been like so excited by it, and now I dread it because I can't wear eyeliner, you can't see my eyeshadow, and it just doesn't look how I want it to look. So I'm fixing it and I'm so excited, and please don't comment that I don't need it, because I don't need it. I want it. And better this than me pretending it didn't happen.
Now, Brooke created a TikTok saying that she was planning to get the plastic surgery known as an upper blepharoplasty. Now, what is an upper blepharoplasty? I'm just gonna call it a Bleph, just to make all our lives easier. A Bleph is one of the most common plastic surgeries you can get, and it essentially works by the surgeon creating an incision on the top of your eyelid and removing any excess skin there. It's one of the most non-invasive surgeries you can get out there. I mean, it takes about 30 minutes. Usually the recovery period where, you want to stay at home is like 2 days, but after that you can pretty much continue on with your normal life and everything will be fully healed within about a week. So compared to other surgeries out there, it's actually a relatively non-invasive surgery you can get. Now, a lot of people get upper blepharoplasties if they're wanting to, just remove the excess hooded eye look, have more eyelid space for a makeup application, which Brooke Schofield herself did share that was her primary reason for wanting to get a Bleph. But there's also a lot of other benefits to it. It can help improve your vision. It can actually help with migraines as well. And actually, I have even been recommended this surgery by my doctor because I naturally have very drooped eyes. I always have my eyes on manual mode whenever I'm making a video or talking to people because I don't want to have an RBF, but in reality, my resting eyes are like this. This is how they normally look. I mean, half my vision is gone and I look mean as hell. Plus, genetically, my family does have eyelids that tend to droop down a lot as we age. So it's something that I've considered and might get done in the future. Who knows? The point is, there are a lot of reasons why people get this surgery. And in comparison to other surgeries out there, it's extremely common and very non-invasive, which is why I was so surprised to see how many people got so upset over Brooke Schofield deciding to share that she was going to get one. And I'm not talking just in the comment sections. Like, I didn't even see Brooke's original video. I saw other people making videos criticizing her for getting this surgery, being anti-feminist, corrupting beauty standards, being a toxic influence to young girls, etc., etc. Like, I saw so much criticism and so much anger specifically targeted towards Brooke Schofield. And I gotta say, I was shocked to see how upset people got about this, and the more and more I dug into it, the more and more I got upset. And I'll tell you all the reasons why, because this goes deep.
I feel like I've always been a supporter of plastic surgery in way of like making yourself feel better and doing things that like are good for you. But then I just saw Brooke Schofield's TikTok where she got her eyelids cut. There's gotta be a limit. Like, some lips look like they're gonna explode. Like, everyone, like, you girls are beautiful. It kills me. Oh my gosh, Brie Olsen, before all the plastic surgery, beautiful. Beautiful. Now, I'm scared.
One of the primary reasons I was so surprised to see the reaction is because, plastic surgery is not a new thing. I mean, on TikTok, there are so many plastic surgeons who have millions and millions of followers who get millions of likes. And with our modern era of social media, crazy beauty standards, face filters, celebrity exposure, it's just no surprise that plastic surgery continues to become more and more popular and more utilized by the general public. And over the years, I've definitely seen a shift in the way that people address plastic surgery from once condemning condemning it to now more so what I see the general public saying, at least on social media. If you want to get it, good for you. If you don't want to get it, good for you. That's what I've commonly seen the majority of people saying, and it definitely echoes my own sentiment as well. I think women should do whatever the hell they want with their bodies, and it's not my place to say what they should and shouldn't do. I will, however, criticize the cultural environment that we have created that pushes people into feeling like they need to get plastic surgery in order to adhere to beauty standards that are just toxic AF. And I think the response to Brooke sharing this perfectly illustrates this toxic environment that we have created that only contributes to people having a worse self-esteem and feeling like they need to get plastic surgery. Rant number 1, I support women doing what they want. But do you? I've noticed that the sentiment that women should do what they want with their bodies only applies to women as a collective, but when one individual decides to share their own story, is honest about what they're getting done or what they got done, then the tune really starts to change.
So Brooke Schofield got her eyelids removed, and I was like, what the heck? Like, how is that even a thing? So I went back to go see what her eyes looked like before the surgery because I never noticed anything wrong with her face that needed to be fixed. Not that anyone's face needs to be fixed. And her video with the scars from the surgery, she's like, I've never been able to see this much eyelid in my life. So that's when I went back to her page to go see a video from before the surgery. And y'all, the way there's not even a huge difference, it's literally a tiny little piece of skin that she got removed from both of her eyelids. Like, do you, because whatever like makes you happy, but like your eyes were perfect beforehand. I don't know why we're literally cutting skin off of our eyes now.
And I totally understand that at the core of a lot of criticism towards plastic surgery, there is a foundation of feminist messaging, rightfully criticizing toxic beauty standards, predatory marketing, capitalism fueling this issue, all of that. But I feel like a lot of those tenets go completely out the window when people start having these conversations of like, she shouldn't get plastic surgery, she shouldn't change her face, when really at its core, feminism is about bodily autonomy. And hey, I just want to say as well, I am not a woman. I will never be able to understand the unique challenges and pressures that women face in this world when it comes to beauty standards and plastic surgery and all these types of things. But these conversations start to feel really icky, especially when you contrast them with really important feminist issues like pro-choice. Respecting a woman's decision on what she should do with her body, which is something we should all be doing, how quickly that changes when it comes to an issue like plastic surgery and how quickly people feel so comfortable tearing down another woman's appearance or decision for getting a plastic surgery procedure done. You know, that's where I feel critical seeing so many people say that they support a woman doing what she wants to do with her body. But do you really? Because the criticism I'm seeing is definitely not reflective of that messaging. And you know, a lot of people have the arguments of like plastic surgery is so extreme, you're putting your body at risk. This is way too extreme just for aesthetics, and that's a totally valid point. But why are we centering this conversation around a surgery like upper blepharoplasty, which is very non-invasive, super quick recovery, and one of the least risky surgeries out there, when there are so many people getting BBLs, breast implants, these other surgeries that are extremely dangerous, have so many side effects, can cause autoimmune diseases, lifelong complications, death. Like, if you want to be traumatized, look at how many deaths have come from BBLs, or look at breast implant disease, something that I see so many people struggle with and have to get their breast implants removed in order to treat the side effects. Like, it's pretty serious. Why is this conversation not being oriented towards the ethics of seriously risky and dangerous procedures like that, and is instead being channeled toward Brooke Schofield and an eyelid surgery? You get what I'm saying? Rant number 2. We just want women to be honest about what they're getting. But do you? I think the biggest criticism of plastic surgery that I have seen in the past, and specifically in relation to influencers, is like, look, you can get whatever you want to done, just be honest about it. Don't hide it from the public, don't lie about it, don't pull a Kylie Jenner and say that it's all natural. I see so many people saying this, right? But then when I see a content creator get online and decide to post about how they've decided to get a plastic surgery, there is an immediate and relentless attack that is so contrary to the so-called wish that people would just be honest about what they're getting. When it comes to Brooke's situation, I actually have a lot of respect for her deciding to go online and talk about how she was going to get this done, especially for a procedure like an upper blepharoplasty, which is so minimal and so non-noticeable. Brooke instead decided to share her own experience and why she wanted wanted to get it done. And I actually have a lot of respect for her because I feel like that takes guts. And man, seeing the response to her deciding to share this, I think only discourages people in the future from wanting to share any type of work that they get done. I looked at that response and I was like, oh yeah, no influencer is going to be talking about any plastic surgery that they get done in the future, because holy shit. This culture of penalizing influencers and public figures for deciding to share that they're getting work done will only discourage honesty and authenticity, and only rewards the people who manage to have enough money to get treatments done that are virtually unnoticeable. Which brings me to my next rant. Number 3, the insane double standard between women. As I saw this firestorm erupting online and being targeted towards Brooke Schofield, I just couldn't help but think about a few celebrities that I have seen absolutely nobody criticize. I'm talking about Lindsay Lohan, Anne Hathaway, Jennifer Lawrence, Demi Moore, which I want to clarify that I think all of them look amazing. I think whoever their doctors are did an incredible job, because wow, they look absolutely stunning and they got very good work done. But like, where is this energy for them? And I know people say, oh, but they're celebrities, this is what we expect from them. One, they have way more influence than your average content creator and definitely have a bigger effect on setting cultural trends than someone like Brooke Schofield. Number 2, they're getting way more extreme, way more invasive, and way more risky plastic surgeries than an upper blepharoplasty. And number 3, the work that they've got done is so natural and they don't talk about what they've gotten done, which only contributes to the very intense beauty standards that are set in place, because rather than comparing yourself to someone who you know has gotten so much surgery and you know exactly what they got and how it transformed their face, we are instead comparing ourselves to people that have not been transparent about what they've done, or even claiming that their transformation is natural. Again, no disrespect to those ladies, I think they look wonderful, but let's be real, in terms of importance and what deserves more criticism, I think there's definitely a double standard. And another thing I've noticed, which I think is very sneaky and very damaging and harmful, is that people are co-opting feminist rhetoric around plastic surgery, utilizing them in verbal attacks towards women that they don't like, rather than any woman who has gotten plastic surgery. Because the internet doesn't currently like Brooke Schofield, and I will say I think that is completely justified. I think the cancellation that she went through was definitely warranted. But instead of using the situation as a conversation around beauty standards and plastic surgery as a whole, people instead decide to attack Brooke because they don't like her, while actively praising and supporting other women who have gotten way more work done. I just don't get it. Rant number 4. Oh baby, the juxtaposition. I have noticed this crazy paradox when it comes to the comment sections and what people are saying about plastic surgery and their criticisms and all that. And it's the comfortability of someone attacking a person for getting plastic surgery while simultaneously insulting their physical appearance.
I feel like I've always been a supporter of plastic surgery. Brie Olsen, before all the plastic surgery, beautiful, beautiful. Now, I'm scared.
I see this all the time. Someone will say, you shouldn't have gotten this plastic surgery, and in the same breath say, you looked prettier before. You look worse now. I like how you used to look.
So I decided to get my nose done for medical reasons, actually. My left nostril had completely collapsed in on itself. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't sleep properly. I had been bullied for my nose my entire life. It was my biggest insecurity. It really affected my confidence and the way I carried myself. Sat on the decision for a few years. I worked really, really hard. I saved up a lot of money and I paid for it completely myself. So happy with the result. It's benefited my life in countless ways. Anyone else like her nose before? Yeah, the before definitely looked better.
Do people not understand that comments about physical appearance are the entire reason why the majority of people get plastic surgery in the first place? You are actively contributing to the pressure for people to get plastic surgery while simultaneously attacking people for getting plastic surgery. Why are we punishing people for trying to conform to what the public is demanding? What society expects, what the patriarchy expects? I'm sorry, but you can't have it both ways. And insulting someone's appearance when talking about plastic surgery is not the feminist move you think it is, and is instead creating the demand for more plastic surgery. People only want to show appreciation for your physical appearance if you fall within this tiny window of attractiveness. But if you don't fall within that and you try to conform to it by getting plastic surgery, you are instantly reprimanded, insulted, and your physical appearance is attacked. It's just such a weird juxtaposition and only confirms to me that, oh, this isn't about feminism, this isn't about plastic surgery. The real sinister undertone is punishing women for not naturally falling within the beauty standards.
Criticizing plastic surgery is not only not feminism, but it's also often anti-feminist. And hold on, I'm not saying choice feminism. Everybody should have boob jobs. Go get your boob jobs, girl bosses. I am saying that I think some of y'all just want to call women ugly. I think some of y'all just want to tear women to shreds for not living up to whatever standard of beauty you have for them, but you know that you can't, right? Because that would make you a bad person. But if we can speculate that maybe she's had work done, then suddenly she's a bad person, because plastic surgery is morally fallible, and she is setting an unrealistically high standard of beauty for young women. Okay. If we're worried about an unrealistically high beauty standard, why don't we criticize the plastic surgery that looks good? Wear the think pieces on Jennifer Lawrence. I mean, don't make them. I love her. I think she looks great. It's just so clearly bullshit. Like, I remember when those photos of Kylie Jenner went viral because she has these like lines right here, right? And the internet was real quick to let her know that she looks hideous. She looks 55. Oh my God, her work looks horrible. And I was just sat there, you know, at home being a 26-year-old woman going like, do I also look horrible? Do the internet feminists want to lock me in a dungeon or something? Because guess what? Yeah, you can get these lines from too much filler or whatever, but they're also a natural consequence of aging. So it's like, good job, internet feminists. You didn't speak about Roe versus Wade being overturned, but you made every 26-year-old woman aging naturally feel like shit. Kylie Jenner might be a bad example. Let me give you another one. I saw this news interview of this woman who has this like really small, clearly surgically worked on nose, and the comment section was eating her alive, letting her know that her nose looks horrible. Oh my God, she's so ugly. She's scary. She should be an advertisement for why plastic surgery is horrible. She had nose cancer. It was not cosmetic. I had other things that I wanted to say, but I'm just gonna leave it there. Good job, internet feminists. You bullied a cancer survivor.
Rant number 5, the mounting pressure of being a public figure. I totally understand as a viewer how it can be so disappointing to see how many content creators, influencers, and public figures end up getting plastic surgery. I totally understand how that could be so disappointing. But it's really hard to understand what it's like to be on the other side of it unless you are sat reading an endless stream of comments attacking your physical appearance every single day, reading comments of people creating new insecurities for you that you never even knew you should be insecure about, fixating on every single area of your face, talking about how you're getting older, how you look ugly, on and on and on. It is so exhausting, and quite frankly, something that just the average person who doesn't have a social media following just doesn't have to experience. I think our brains are not meant to handle millions of people commenting on our physical appearance and commenting about what we do and us having access to that every single day. And I do think at a certain point that negativity is inescapable, which is why I tend to have a lot of sympathy when it comes to public figures, influencers, and content creators getting plastic surgery, because I get it. It's so much easier to get a surgery done to fix an insecurity on your face so that people will stop commenting about it, or so that you'll stop hyperfixating about it, instead of battling through and trying to ignore critical comments. And all of this considering that social media is actively rewarding more and more attractive people, the beauty standards are getting more and more intense, people are hyper aware of physical appearance, face filters, aging, all of that. I just get it. I do have sympathy for those people. I think this response to Brooke Schofield only punishes authenticity and contributes to a world where appearance and facade matters over anything else. When people are punished for trying to be honest, it will only result in people intentionally being inauthentic and social media becoming even more fake and more toxic. And for bigger issues like plastic surgery, toxic beauty standards, the patriarchy to grow more and more powerful. Which is why I have to bring this out to the bigger picture, okay? I think there is so much more of a productive conversation that we could be having about this issue instead of focusing on Brooke Schofield and what she decided to get. I think this entire situation is yet another example of people attacking victims of a systemic issue rather than taking action to fight against the systemic issue itself. Rather than collectively working together to dismantle toxic beauty standards, corrupt politicians, greedy corporations, all of these really massive issues, we instead use all of that energy to single out and attack victims of those issues. Why are we not using this energy to fight the bigger issues like the patriarchy in the first place that creates so many of these tangential issues? Tangential? Is that a word? I don't know, the patriarchy fucks everything up and creates this issue to begin with. Why are we not using this energy to effectively bring down the patriarchy? Why are we voting people into office that are reinforcing these terrible policies that reduce women's bodily autonomy, let alone women's rights to begin with? And I know a lot of people are like, that's dismissive of the issue at hand. Brooke Schofield and other influencers need to be held accountable for their decisions to get plastic surgery, but Exactly what does this solve? How is all of this online outrage productive? Why are we not using it to call out dangerous plastic surgery procedures or plastic surgeons who use predatory marketing tactics that manufacture insecurities? Why are we actively uplifting women who have gotten the most amount of plastic surgeries done, like the Kardashians, and holding them as the beauty standard instead of celebrating natural beauty? Like, there are just so many more productive things that we could be using our outrage for that can really change the future generation's relationship to beauty standards, but no, instead the conversation is being targeted towards individuals who I believe are victims of the patriarchy. Plastic surgery has evolved so far that it's no longer productive to criticize individuals who get it, and personally, I empathize and totally understand why people would get it, because it's a hard world out there. The beauty standards are getting more rigid, and it doesn't look like any change is going to be coming anytime soon. I've shared a lot of thoughts in this video. This was a really long rant, but I want to hear from you guys what you think. I already know a bunch of people are going to be disagreeing with me in my comment section. I am not ready for it, but at the same time, I feel like I just needed to say this because as someone who tries as hard as I can to be a feminist and expose myself to feminist ideology, and as someone who's an influencer and part of the beauty community, I just think this is a non-issue, and the response is more indicative of a bigger problem than an individual surgery. Anyway, let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Let me know if you guys want to see more videos like this where I rant, because trust, mama can rant about so many things, so just let me know. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can see my videos every single week, and I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah.